Hello everyone. Hi, I'm giving everyone 10 minutes. Tag your friends, share the live. I know you've been waiting for this live the whole day. Here we are now, but I would like your help on this. Share the video, share the live and tag your friends so that we begin. Everyone else is waiting for you as well. Thank you for coming on time. Amy, please share the video or the live and tag your friends so that we start. We have 10 minutes. It's 9 p.m. So by 9:10 we will begin. So make sure that you share the live and tag your friends so that we can begin this session as we take you through the requirements during an interview and CV writing. I have my team with me. Yes, grab your pens, notebooks, and be ready for an exciting journey today with us here. Share the live and tag your friends. Thank you for joining us. As we're just starting, we're almost kicking off. We'll begin at 9:10. So kindly do the needful by sharing so that we have as many people as possible for today's session. We don't want to leave anyone out. We want everybody to be part of this. I would like for you also to confirm if you can hear me clearly, if I'm audible, if you can see me, but I will also in a few minutes turn you towards the screen where we will be having the rest of the team broadcasting from. And I would like for you to confirm before we begin if you can see them clearly and if you can hear them clearly as well. Yeah, so let's do this. All right, I'm not sure if you can see. I'd like you to confirm if you can see the screen. Can you all see the screen? Please confirm.
Who's the person on the screen?
Oh, there you are. You can hear me loud and clear. Could you confirm also if you can hear Kaya?
Hello, here I am speaking. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Are you guys able to hear Kaya? Loud and clear, lighting superb, perfect.
Thanks.
I'd like you to confirm if you can hear Kaya, please. That would be nice.
Hello, hello. Hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Oh, what happened?
I know, it's really loud.
I can't. What happened? I swear, I don't know. I can't see you now. You're gone.
Who?
You.
I'm here.
No, I mean to say I can't see you. I don't know what happened. What's
I
going
can
on?
see you though.
Hold on. Let me. You can see me, huh?
Yep.
Okay. Oh Jesus. Perfect. Whew, that was close. I can see and hear her from my end. Perfect. I love it. I love that. So 9:10 and we are good to go. Please share the live and tag your friends. We don't want anyone to miss this exciting experience with us. Hoping it's exciting as I'm calling it. I was just confirming if I have a full battery. Aye. Yeah, if you can hear her, if you can see her, perfect, that's good. That's perfect. And can you see me or you don't need to see me? You know my face, so you don't need to see me clearly. But we're waiting for also one more person to join us. As soon as she's here, you'll be able to see all the three of us. We're going to be 3 during this session. One more person in the team, yay! So tag your friends, share the live. We still have another 4 minutes before we begin. Are you in contact with Maureen?
She accepted the meeting request. So, I mean, she's gotten it in her inbox, so hopefully she'll click the link and come.
Okay.
And I'll just send her a quick note on WhatsApp as well.
Okay, perfect. Yes, I am in the bottom screen. Thank you. Please share the live and tag your friends, guys. Share the live and tag your friends. We start in 4 minutes. In the meantime, we're waiting for the other team member also to join us. What's happening to my light? Okay, share the live, guys, please. Share the live. That's the least you can do, is share the live. Share it to the groups, share it to your timelines, tag everyone. Yes, tag your friends. Thank you, Grace Diamond. Thank you, Jaluo, and everyone else who's just joining. Today's session is taking you through what is expected of you in interviews and CV writing. Very important topic for you guys who are still looking for work, and of course those guys also who have interviews in a few days. This is for you and everyone else. You know, grab some information for your children, for your sisters, for your cousins, brothers, for everyone. Right. Uko hapa karibu. Share the live on your timeline, Mama Kenudhia. Thank you for joining. Use Zoom, it's perfect for big numbers. Well done. Yeah, we had that option, but we preferred, because we want everybody in, like in terms of everyone on my Facebook, not on a personal level, like if you know what I mean. Usually we conduct it actually on Messenger. That's what we've been doing in the past, but this time around we decided to do it in public, because we've been doing it using Facebook Messenger, and that way we don't even get everyone else to join in. So this time we have decided to use this way, and we will try that as well next time, Materi. I appreciate your comment on that. And Kaya, if you'd like to follow comments, you can also follow on your phone, but I can read them out for you if you...
Yeah, I think you're going to do that. I don't even know how to find you on here.
Yeah. That way you can actually see how you appear.
Oh, good job. There I am. I look very angry.
Not really. Yes, at the end we will have a question. We will explain everything, Hanita. Just give us 1 more minute. I'm concerned now about Maureen. I don't want to start without her. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for tagging your friends. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for tagging your friends. Thank you for sharing. Keep sharing and tagging your friends so that we don't leave anyone out. I guess it's 10 past now, and
Shoot her note. Okay, this says she's joining now.
Okay, perfect. So Maureen is almost here. She is joining us now.
Now it might be different though.
Kate, I see you. Thank you for joining. Yeah, it's crazy. Hi, Ida. So I'm basically multitasking using, like, I'm here and then I'm putting my head backwards to read the comment.
Familiar feelings.
Come on, Maureen. Ah, perfect. Finally. Okay, we need the face.
Yeah.
Yay! Whew.
You're on mute, Maureen, you're on mute.
Yeah, we can't hear you. Okay, maybe she's
You're still on mute.
We can't hear you.
There's a button at the top of the screen that says mic. Next to the leave, it says share and then mic. Hit the mic button because yours, yeah.
I'm trying to open.
Yay!
Now we can hear you.
We can hear you. That's okay. That's what's important. Looking fly as always.
Okay, just in a minute. How can I open it from the laptop?
There's a link in the email.
In your email, you have a link, so just click on it.
I did.
And then choose a browser. If you don't need to install the application.
It's when I press, it says join here. Click here to join, which I did,
Right?
but it's taking me to I think
To who?
a name that I should put.
Put your name. Yeah, put your name there.
Oh, my name. Okay.
Yes.
So. One second, sorry, ladies.
That's okay.
This is technology issues happen to absolutely everyone.
I know.
I've given a lot of interviews over the last particularly 8 months, and I'd say maybe 1/3 of them, the interviewee had technology problems, and I felt they always get so nervous about it. It's okay, happens to everybody. Don't stress.
Right. I remember when I don't know if I shared this with you, Kaya, but when I had my interview with the Etihad one, I just joined Teams like this, and then the laptop went off. So you've joined with your laptop, now we can
I think
see
I'm on
you.
now.
Yes.
You're on the laptop and the phone.
You probably need to turn one off.
Yeah.
I prefer.
Okay. And now turn on the camera and the mic. One step at a time. I can't see myself anymore, which is weird. Can you see me?
I can see you.
Okay, good. Okay.
How can you not see yourself?
I don't know. Can't see myself or Maureen.
Can you see me?
Yes, I can see half of your face.
There you go. Now, can you
Ah, there we are. There we all are.
talk, please? Let's hear you.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. In a minute, because I just came now. Okay, 1 second. Let me set this down.
It's okay.
Okay.
The good thing is that you're here.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, so guys, we're going to go right away and start this without wasting any more time. And hi, everyone.
Are we online?
Yes, we are. We
Yeah.
are live. You can follow on your phone for the comments if you like to do that.
Okay.
So, hi guys, hi everybody. Thank you for joining us for this training session. And I am so privileged today, or we are, to be joined by two wonderful women from across the globe. Maureen, you've disappeared again.
I need to come. What do you get for?
So hey. I'm sorry. This is too funny. Maureen, did you faint? I need to be serious. Oh God of mercy.
Maybe we should just start and Maureen will catch up.
Yeah, so I'm going to take this opportunity to welcome Kaya and let her introduce herself. So, Kaya, please.
Hi, I'm Kaya. I'm originally from New York. I have 20 years of experience, of which 5 were in the UAE. My specialty is early career programs. So at the moment, I run early career programs across Europe, Middle East, Africa, and Latin America in supply chain, finance, and procurement for an enormous American multinational called Johnson Controls. My educational background is I have an undergraduate degree in history and international relations from University of Northeastern in the US and a master's degree in global governance and diplomacy from Oxford in the UK. I have a diverse background. I've taught at a university. I've traveled with the circus. I've worked with the European Parliament. But the last 13 years, I have been more focused specifically on helping young talent grow and develop.
Thank you. And could you tell us where you are at this moment?
Berlin right now.
Right now, Berlin. Okay. Maureen, the floor is yours. Kindly introduce yourself.
All right, so everybody, hi, my name is Maureen. I've been living in the United States of United
Arab Emirates.
For nearly 10 years now. I'm working for Emirates at the moment. I've been with them for 9 years. At the moment, I'm working in first-class lounges, and I'm assisting them, doing most of the things, and in charge of the first-class, let's say. Right. So my background is I've been in the retail for quite a long time, and customer service is my major background. Customer service is my major. I'm really good at it, basically. Yeah. So coming back to aviation was quite a big change for me because nobody taught me all what we are about to teach people right now. But I'm happy to be here. I'm excited, and thank you, Esther, for having us here. It's a blessing.
Thank you. Well, thank you. And obviously, those who are new to my page, I'm Esther, and originally from Kenya, born and raised. I've been in the United Arab Emirates for the last 12 years. My apologies. So we're going to go straight away to the topic, which I am going to introduce, and then we kick off. So the background of this particular workshop, or whatever we are doing today, I started this a couple of years ago, and I used to do this on Messenger. And the reason I started this whole thing or this movement is because most people used to come to my inbox asking me what they should do when attending an interview, what to expect and how to present themselves. So I decided to do training programs on my Messenger, which I had classes. I would have classes of like 10 people and release them now to go for their interviews. And last year, Maureen joined me and we took this together. I think we did 2 classes together, which was exciting because having someone else on the team was really good. And now this year, we are privileged to have Kaya with us. So this looks like something that is growing, a movement that's growing, and I'm so proud of, every one of you. All right, so I will answer a few questions here before we begin, which is we have some people who are attending an interview or have interviews which have deadline on the 23rd. So what to expect, or what you guys should expect for these interviews are just, usual questions, interview questions, like tell us about yourself and what is your background, and if you've been, in a situation where you've been a leader before and how you handled it. I will move this over to Kaya to begin with the presentation so that we start from there. Kaya, please.
Yep. So, thank you, Esther, for that wonderful introduction and entry. So, she's absolutely right. The first question that anyone is going to ask you in an interview is, tell me about yourself. Every single interview you ever go to, that is the second question that they ask you. And you need to know that that's coming and have 90 seconds maximum 2 minutes prepared in answer to that question. And in those 90 seconds, 2 minutes, it's not about, my favorite color is blue and I like dogs more than cats. That's not what they're looking for. You have 90 seconds. This is your first impression of what you sound like and what you bring to the table. So you want to think about as you're writing your introduction, think about, okay, what does this role involve? What does this company need? What are my assets? And once you have thought about that, you use those to structure your answer. So for example, I have several different introductions that I use for interviews. It depends on what kind of role I'm applying for. I used to teach, and so an introduction that I used to give when I was looking more into teaching roles was, and I'm sure you know this one, in 2010, my life was going really badly. It was just nothing was going right. And 2010 was also when I started teaching again. And I woke up every morning feeling cheerful. And I thought, am I so cheerful? Life has gone wrong. And I realized that it was because I had found my passion. I was going in every day to help young people learn and grow and find new ways to help them develop. And I was getting to do it on a team of other people who were as passionate as I was and with whom I could work to come up with new ideas. And it has been this enthusiasm and love for what I do that has been at the heart of all of my successes. It's why I've been able to turn a program that had a 65% retention rate into a 95% retention rate. It's how I got a 95% approval rating from all of my clients with the consulting organization I work for, and how I turned a $3 million program into a $5 million return. Mm-hmm. And it's this passion that I want to bring to this role. So this is what I've brought it. So this is my introduction. And in my introduction, I show you I care a lot about what I do. I'm good at working with teams. I'm good at innovating. I'm good at developing people, which is what this role is looking for. And then I've given you the numbers to back up my strengths.
Right.
So this already, you're listening to that and you're like, okay, she's got something to offer. I'm interested to knowing how she did that stuff. So think about how you want to introduce yourself, because that really is absolutely critical, and you need to have a clean, beautiful, short, concise, but powerful answer to that question. Because every single person's going to ask you.
That's right, that's right.
The other thing, before you even walk in for your interview, your step one is to research the company. What does this company do? Why do they do it? How long have they been doing it? What are they proud of? What is their branding like? And also look for their values and their mission. And Emirates in particular is all about its branding. So go onto their website, figure out, and I don't remember what they are, and you guys can help. What are the values? What is the mission? What is it? What is their core? And it's always going to be things like the one team and honesty and integrity and stuff like that. Every organization is basically the same ones, but make sure you know the right ones for this company so you can get those words in there to prove that you're a good fit.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You can also Google questions that they tend to ask, because most big organizations, people want to know what they ask, and so people will have put it down. I interviewed with Microsoft last summer, and so I spent probably 4 hours preparing for that interview, wow, looking up what kinds of questions they ask and how to answer them. And any interview you do, particularly if you don't do them very often, is at least 4 to 8 hours of preparation, of figuring out what kinds of questions they're going to ask and what your answer is going to be. And this meeting, once you've got it prepared, so I had a bunch of interviews last summer. I think I had 35 interviews last summer, as I was finding the right place for me. And I spent 8 hours preparing for the first interview, and then 6 for the next, and then 4, and then 2. And then by then I had like a little booklet with all my answers. But it's time consuming to prep.
Right.
And in your prep, what you're looking to do is, most interviews these days ask situational or behavioral questions. So they will say things to you like, tell me about a time when you, right? Tell me about, and the most common ones are, tell me about a time when you had to deal with conflict, or Tell me about a time when you had to work as part of a team. Tell me about a time when you had a difficult customer. Tell me about a time when you disagreed with your manager. Things like that. And tell a story as an answer. Because there's a quote that says, can't remember exactly what it is, but it's the surest indicator of future behavior is past action. Mm-hmm. So if I tell you about a conflict I had and it ended up with everybody screaming, you say, fine, I think that's going to happen next time. So the stories you tell are indications of who you are, how you deal with situations, and it also shows I have experienced the things that are going to come up in this role. And so when you're answering the questions, use what's called the STAR technique. Mm-hmm. The situation, where were you? What was happening? The task, what did you need to get done? The action you took, and the results. Mm-hmm. And this, if you use this technique, situation, STAR, situation, task, action, result, this will help you keep your answers concise, to the point, structured, and clear. Because that is also really key. I've interviewed a lot of people recently, and some of them just give me these long, rambly answers, which they use a lot of buzzwords, but don't really say anything, and you do not know what you're trying to say. And I don't hire those people because I don't know what they're talking about. because they're not saying it.
Right.
You want to make sure that that your message is super, super clear. And practice your answers. So if you're like, okay, conflict resolution, think about a time when you had a conflict. What did you do? Mm-hmm. How can you tell that story in a way that is clear and short and makes you look good?
Right.
So for example, a story I have told about conflict is I was not telling the story publicly, never mind. It's confidential for the organization I work for. I was in a position with a colleague and we were trying to do something, and I had a lot more experience than she did, and she didn't want to hear it. And she put together something that was really not going to work, and I knew it wasn't going to work. And I did my best to communicate this with her. She wasn't having it. So the situation started, things were not working well. And so then I changed how I approached her. And instead of saying, your idea is bad, I started letting her think some stuff was her idea. It's like, oh, I remember you were talking the other day about this other thing. Do you think perhaps that would be a good thing to try? And I worked with some of the other people in location because this was we were in a different place than our usual office, and I worked with some people sort of behind the scenes to get some other things happening, to do some very quick changing, and I got them to bring it to her so that she thought it was their idea, because she and I did not always see eye to eye. And at the end of the day, I saved the project and everyone was really happy. I tell that story with more detail normally. So what you see from this is I'm good at people skills. My focus is on getting the project done and protecting the company. It's not on winning. Yeah. You see that I'm innovative. You see that I can think outside the box. You see that I'm persuasive and I can influence. And those all come from that one little story.
Okay.
Situation, I was in a place where it wasn't working. Task was to make it work. Action was to make her think it was her idea and to get the other people on board. Result was everyone was happy. Little stories. Questions currently? Thoughts? Do you guys want to chime in?
I just wanted to say, like, the first, when Kaya explained or said her answer, her approach to the question, tell us about yourself, that is the usual question people get, and they go like, my name is Esther, I come from Kenya, I love music, I have traveled to 100 countries, these are not the things that are, the employer is not interested in those things at all. They want to hear who you are as a professional, because that's what you're going to them as. So just to make it clear, because I'm sure you didn't probably get that part, that is what she was trying to explain. So go out of the way to explain yourself in a professional way, but also make it interesting. Don't be, oh, my name is Esther, I've worked for 10 years, I'm customer service, full stop. No. Explain with examples as well. Go out of, think outside the box and explain yourself in a way that makes the employer or the recruiter interested in hiring you. I just wanted to add on that.
100%. And
Maureen?
that's what you want to bear in mind for every single question they ask. Your answer is around what they're looking for.
Right. Maureen?
Maureen, do you want to say something?
Yes, if I can add something into that, when it comes to that question of conflict resolution, always think about the positive outcome of the result.
Right.
So make your answer consistent and the story very believable, because most of the people, they tend to give the story, then in the middle they get lost. So make the story believable and make the story consistent with all the stories that you're going to give throughout your interviews. Make them consistent and believable. That's it.
That reminds me.
You need to be true.
Keep it.
Stories, don't be
Reminds
stories.
me. Well, if you say keep it true, it reminds me of an interview I attended here in the Gulf, the first interview actually, and they asked me, tell us a situation that the situation was like that caused panic at work, and what did you do about it? So I said there was a fire in the building and I ran away, and I was supposed to be the security, so they were hiring security. So you don't run away. You have to answer questions according to the role as well. Because as a security, you're not supposed to run away. You're supposed to stay and help people evacuate.
Yeah, maybe don't tell that story.
Yeah. Right. So it will tell your story according to the role that you're applying for. If you're a security and there's a fire in the building, you're expected to show people the what are they called? As fire exit points. And
assembly points.
yes, and the exit points before you run away. I ran away. I told them I ran away before everyone else. I was like, no, we're trying to hire you to be the security for the mall. You can't run away. Yeah. All right, let's proceed. Guys, I hope you're following. We will give you time to ask the questions later, so keep following.
Yeah, so, but do in terms of, Maureen makes a really good point about consistency and not getting lost in the middle. And this is why you want to figure out what you're going to, this is the reason it took me 8 hours to prepare for my first interview, is because I had a list of stories for any possible question that would ask. And then I managed to boil those down into, 6 or 7 stories that I had ready to go, quick and easy, and I could use them to showcase anything. So for example, if that same story I just told around conflict resolution, if someone had asked me to give an example of problem solving, I could have used that same one. If someone had asked me about a question that my organization asked a lot is about a time you moved the needle when you made an actual change happen, I could have used that story there.
Right.
If someone asked me about change management, I could have used that story there. So have stories, that way you don't have to remember 700 stories of your own life. Oh my God, it's incredible. Have 6 stories that from your life, from your professional life, that you can use differently depending on the question you're asked. Because that will keep it much simpler. But yes. And so other questions to have in mind. So they will ask you why this company or why this role. You will almost always get asked those questions, and you need to have an answer that shows you've done your research. So, for example, I interviewed someone recently. I work for an enormous American multinational, right? We're 100,000 people. We're twice as big as Emirates, massive company. But we also we're a small team. At least my team is small, and we care about ourselves as a company. Blah blah blah. And I asked someone why he wanted to work for us, and he said, "Because I want to work for a big company." That's not what we're looking for. We want someone. It's not about whether or not you've drunk the Kool-Aid, it's about whether or not you show you've done their research. So you want to say, I want to work for your organization because I know you have a big focus on sustainability, and I really like that you have a strong focus on diversity and inclusion, and I'm really interested in technology.
Right.
That would all apply to the company I work for. And so then I'm thinking, okay, A, you're a good fit for our company, and B, you've done your research, you're smart, you're prepared, you're organized, you care. Because that's what doing your research shows. Same thing for why this role. My manager interviewed someone the other day, and he said, why this role? Why do you think he will like this role? Is what he asked. And this young man said, I don't know, I just think that I probably will.
Oh.
Wow. No, you gotta say, because I really enjoy X, Y, and Z, and in this role I will get to X, Y, and Z. Or because in my previous role, let's say you're going for a check-in agent, and you say in my previous role as working in a hotel, I really enjoyed talking to different guests every day and being the face of the company. And I know that if I'm a check-in agent at Emirates, then I'm also the face of the company, and that helps me grow our brand and also connect to the public, which I really love. Something like that. Also, they may well ask me, where you want to be in the next 5 years? Personally, I hate that question.
Where you see yourself in the next 5 years, yeah?
Yeah. And give that one a think. I don't have an answer to that. The answer I tend to give to that is, I don't have a job title in mind, but I want to be in a position, and this is for me, this might not apply to Emirates, this is how I would answer that question. I don't have a position in mind, but I want to be in a role in which I get to have a positive impact on the people around me and the organization I work for. Is how I answer that. Because I don't have a specific thing in mind, because I don't really know. I want to work for a nonprofit, quite frankly. But I can't tell them that in the corporate I work for.
I know there are many people who also answer that question and say, why do you want this job? They ask that question too, why do you want this job? And most people say, I want this job for the money, which is obviously an honest answer, but again, it's honest because it's the money you're looking for, but it's not what you should say. You know, it's not what you should say. I told my current employer when I got my interview done, the reason I wanted to work with them is because I'm passionate about social media, and I'm a blogger, which means I'm on a daily basis on social media. I have a clue about every social media channel, all the channels that is, and this is what they were looking for. Basically, the first few lines of my answer, I got them already. They were like, they had made their decision, you know. So the passion, they're looking for the passion. Always remember they're looking for passion, to see you passionate about the job you're applying for. Because this is like going to someone's house and they ask you, I mean, you give just, you know, negative comments, or you say something that doesn't, I don't even know how to describe this. I'm trying to say, like, I think I'll pass on that now for explanation because
it's like I've come to your house just to eat your dinner and not to hang out with you.
Thank you very much. There are people who say that actually. They're like, after dinner, what time should you leave?
It's a good explanation.
Thank you for coming in, saving the day. All right.
Yeah, and maybe you are there for the dinner. I mean, realistically, most of us are there for the dinner, but nobody wants. The corporations don't want to. They want to pretend that's not true.
Personally, I don't think I've had a very tough interview. Normally, when I have this question, it's like it goes so smooth. I've never had any hiccup when it comes to this question because I already know what I want. I already know what I'm going for. But what I normally tell the candidate is to practice. Because okay, you might know what you want, but when you go there, it all disappears.
Yeah, very common.
You go there totally blank. So why do you want this job? I'm like, okay, I want it for money, but okay, that is the honest. But at the end of the day, you want to make an impression, right? You want them to love you as much as you want that money.
Yeah, that's true.
So win-win for them, win-win for you. Yes.
Yes. Yes, but also, I mean, even if we are, if people do generally work for money, you're going for this job, not a different one. I really like my job. I get to use the skills that I enjoy. I like my organization. I like my team. I like my manager. I could make money somewhere else too, but I've chosen this one because this is what I like.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's important, and they want to see that. But also remember, they're looking for, a lot of organizations are looking for personality fit as much, if not more, than anything else. I mean, when I interview people, I look for sort of 65% soft skills and 35% technical skills. You can learn Excel, you can learn finance, you can learn the hard skills. I cannot teach you to be good to talk to be a good communicator, to care.
Right.
So be yourself. And I know it's the most useless advice, but don't stress about being tremendously like, hello, I'm very formal, and my name is Kaya, and I have never smiled in my life. Right? You want to be you and warm and personable and friendly, and particularly for somewhere like Emirates, where you're going to be client-facing and customer-facing, you have to show that you're pleasant to talk to. It's really, really key. So like in the small talk, compliment them on literally anything. Oh my gosh, I love your shoes. Where did you get them? Your pen is my favorite shade of blue. Whatever. But be a person. Be a person first.
Be human.
Human, not a robot.
Yeah.
Because they're looking to hire people. They're gonna, I've interviewed people, and I'm like, wow, you seem very smart, and I'd never want to work with you. I am not hiring you. Because you're gonna be on my team. I'm gonna take care of you for the next 7 years. That's how long my program is. I gotta like you.
Right.
Yes. And that's really what organizations are looking for, is, are you a good fit for the culture of this company?
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're looking for. I do a lot of stuff around change management, and in every interview I end up saying, I always drink from the cup. I need you to convince me to drink from the bottle. How would you do it? And the people who say, well, I would tell you the policy said that now you had to drink from the bottle. Right? Not hiring you. I've had people tell me that the cup was too fragile and I'd probably break it. Not hiring you. But the people who say, I would tell you that the water bottle was bigger, and so you would have to get up less often, so you'd be more productive, so you would get to leave work earlier. Okay, that's good. I would ask you why you like the cup, and then I would tell you why the bottle had that and more. That's a good answer too. Right? I'm looking for people who can communicate, who think about other people, who have empathy.
I think outside the box.
Exactly.
Outside the box.
Okay, I'm going to stop talking now and hand it over to you guys.
All right. Thank you very much, Kaya. And guys, I hope you're noting down your questions, because we're going to get to that part. But right now, I would like to hand over to Maureen, and she's going to be covering image and appearance. Maureen, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me once again. It's such a blessing to be doing this with these two amazing ladies. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm going to move forward to image. Image is, when I say image, it's simple, but it's very technical. It's very simple. It's a simple word, but when it comes to the act, that's when everyone flops, or most of the people flops. Mm-hmm. We know, when they say, what does professional image mean? What does the professional image mean? And we all have different definitions when it comes to professional image. And it all depends on an organization and its culture. And in this particular session, we are going to talk about general professional image of airline. And Gulf of GCC Airlines, they have equally same standard when it comes to image. And you've seen it all over the internet, the way they walk, the way they carry themselves. It's the same standard for Etihad, Qatar Airways, Iraqi Airways, Emirates Airline, Fly Dubai, they all have same standard when it comes to image. Now, we are going to talk about...
You're forgetting Kenya Airways. Please hold on. You can't miss our air. Hey, Kenya Airways.
We have a to go to when it comes, I don't want to drop names of the not so good ones. Like, she's making me do it. Kaya, she's making me do it. But anyway, we have a long way to go. Kaya, if you've ever traveled with our airline, we have a long way to go. We need, especially when it comes to the image, yes, we have a long way to go. And okay.
Ouch.
It's all out. So when we talk about the image for the GCC, it's all about the face, the sharpness, and the body posture. I know it sounds so awkward and it sounds mean, but it's all about the body posture and the image. The image sells in GCC.
The appearance.
Yeah, the appearance, right? So professional image, to me, is the image that one projects about themselves based upon appearance and reputation. Now, if you come to me right now, the moment you're walking straight to me, when I see you, I've already judged you based on what you're wearing. Before you even open your mouth, the first impression counts. So if you're wearing a suit, I'll be like, okay, this is a banker. This one could be a banker or a CEO or somebody big, right? But if you're just floppy and nothing matches what you have, and then you open it, before you open your mouth, I'll go back, please. Next.
Screen and that's it.
The screening day is gone.
Right.
It's done. Yes. So the image itself can be conveyed as the way you dress, the way you speak, the way you walk on, the way you talk to others, and the way others talk to you too. It doesn't have to be only the way I dress. It's also your image is how others perceive you and how you perceive others, or how you talk to others. You know, and when you talk about GCC airline, first of all, I'm gonna name the major airlines. Let's talk about Etihad, Emirates Airline, Qatar Airways. These are the big, major ones.
Yeah.
This airline, they put a lot in when it comes to image and looks. This is a really unpleasant truth, but they take liberty to stretch under the acceptable limits of this. Basically, if you're not looking good, you can be terminated. You can lose a job for not looking good. You can lose a job for your shirt not being ironed. You can get a warning for you not having a proper makeup, for you not having a skin-colored or a proper skin-colored stockings. You can lose your job or you can be on suspension. Stuff like this happen every day and we see it. I've been with Emirates for 9 years and I've seen a lot of things, some funny makeup.
Some funny hairstyle, the bald head. Remember, she got a warning.
I remember Kaya. I also had this whole. She was looking really nice, but she was really.
But you get a warning for that.
Yes,
you can't be bald headed, yeah, unless it's natural. So I got a warning. Okay. The reason the airlines, they emphasize on the image because you are the ambassador and the flag bearer of the company. They don't want to put somebody who is floppy as a front liner because they are trying to attract customers. It's one way of trying to attract. Let's say you have a house, you built a house or you buy a house. In front of the porch or in front of the house, what do you put? You put a flower pot. Normally you put a flower pot to make it look pretty, or you put welcome home or a rag that represents who you are, or people to know that, oh, hello, somebody interesting is inside the house, or do not come here, this house doesn't belong to you. So you put something that represents the person that you are, the same like the image itself. Now, I know I'm going really fast, but just bear with me because I talk fast.
nervous.
Why are you nervous?
Carefully slow down.
It's funny because the ladies are not even telling me to slow down. I was expecting time out.
The person I was expecting to do a time at on was Kaya, but she did really well.
You did well.
Yeah.
So now there are elements of image. When it comes to image, we have elements. It's not. I don't want to generalize it because we have female and male, and to be honest, this goes strong on the female because we require a lot of work.
Yeah, makeup, hair.
No, it's not because we require a lot of work. It's because we live in a society that has unfair, unjust, and unrealistic standards for women.
Whoa.
It's not because we are flawed. It's because we live in a patriarchal society
I knew
that does not respect women.
I knew Kaya would come in on this one.
I hit it now.
I was waiting for it.
I held it together.
Breathe, Kaya, drink some water.
I had to mention that we need to work that. That's anything. Now, the appearance, what you wear and how you look really matters. Okay. So the first thing we are going to talk about is dress code. All right. What dress code would you wear when you're going for interview or what? Because before you go for interview, let's say before you apply for a job, you need to know what kind of job you want first of all, before you go buying a suit. Because like Kaya said, when you go going for Google interview, you wear a suit, they will probably laugh at you, right, Kaya? They'll be like, what are you doing here? And when you go for Sun and Sun, you wear sports, they'll be like, good, he or she knows what she's doing.
And,
Now, when you're going for when you want to become a sous chef and there's an interview, you wear the sous chef and you're ready with your knives and your cutlery. So you are always ready for it. Now, coming to airplane, when you're going for interview, you must have a suit. And number one, always have a suit in your closet, regardless of where. Let's go with a neutral color, black.
Black, yeah. Black is always safe.
Yes.
Or grey.
Yes, black is always safe. So have a suit. I'm not talking about you must own a very expensive suit, but at least have something when there's an emergency, interview emergency, you put it on, you look good, you go. So, dress code for ladies. For ladies, you need a black jeans piece suit or gray or dark gray. When I say this, let's take out the fancy words, it's just a black suit. You need a black suit, fitted suit, not knee length, black suit, period. So we're not going to make an excuse that, but it's gray with some part. No, it's black suit or gray. Just two of them, black or gray. You need a white shirt or a beige shirt. I'm talking about ladies here. You need a you need a beige shirt or a white shirt. And not too transparent because, see, the thing about, I remember when I went for this, image, they told us when you're wearing colored, don't wear colored bras underneath the blouses. Yes. When you take out your jacket and the blouse itself is white, someone can see, it's revealing basically. So don't forget about anything transparent. Just wear a normal shirt, office shirt, white or beige, a knee-length skirt will do. A knee-length skirt. You need also a skin-colored stocking. So go for something that's close to your skin color, not too bright. Because now this is the mistake that we African, I'm going to say African, Asians. This is where we go wrong on this. You will find an African wearing an Asian color or a white stocking and proudly walking on the street,
I have done that at work. There's a day Maureen stopped me and she was like, why are your legs like that? I was wearing.
So you know a friend. The friend is the one who can tell you, what are you wearing?
We laughed it out, you know, she's like, this one.
Yeah, you would stop me from leaving my house because of what I was wearing. That's how you
I stopped you and you changed, I think, twice. Remember, Kyle?
We learned. Life is a learning process. It's a journey for all of it.
I had not even seen my legs, you know. I was not looking at them. My God. Anyway, let's proceed. So, guys, yeah, make sure the stockings match your skin color.
Just say, so we can get on.
No, it's okay. It's done. Halas. Let's proceed.
All right. Okay, that was a quick break. and and you need for the ladies, you need a dark color heels, preferably something that matches your suit. So you don't want to wear a black suit and some red heels, or a black suit or beige shoe. Just go for something that matches. You don't see when you're working, people always size. We call it Kaya in Kenya. We call it we size you. Tunakusize. So we don't want to size you like we're looking up and down, up like what?
People size you up.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, you don't want something like that. So go for something that matches your suit. And where your hair. Okay, now this is the mistake that all ladies we are doing. Most of the ladies we do, especially when you're going for an interview. I've seen some very, very fun hairstyles that don't even, so embarrassing.
Sorry, that I had a moment there.
The reason they always ask to pull your hair back is because they want to see your face. They want to see the chin. They want to see everything that is happening here. When you cover it like this, even when you're going to take just even a normal photo, they normally tell you to pull your hair back. It's because they want to see your full image. So pull your hair back, put it in a bun or a pony, and if you're
exempted, short, Kaya.
In there. If your hair is short, it has to be short as the Kaya. Even shorter, it's fine. Even shorter, it's fine, but it has to be neat. Make it neat. Make it look sharp and smart. Now we're going straight to the makeup. Now this is also another part where I see most of our ladies going off on it, because when you're dark, you're wearing a lighter foundation. When you're light, you're wearing a darker foundation. Get something that is appropriate for you and something that matches your skin. Now, we have two types of makeup. We have daytime makeup, nighttime makeup. We have daytime lipsticks and nighttime lipstick. It's very easy to differentiate it. I know pink is supposed to be for day, but you cannot wear it for an interview. Purple is screaming purple is supposed to be for day, but you cannot wear it for interview. So go for something that is something less. Less is more. They always say in fashion they say less is more. So if you want to go for red, in Emirates we go for red most of the time. And Esther really has very, very beautiful red lipstick. We go for red because it enhances a smile and it shows your white teeth.
Yeah.
I would say that because I always go for red when I'm going for interviews. Yeah. When I went for Fly Dubai interview, I wore light pink because that is as per their standard. Try as much as possible to make your research, do your research, write the things down, what they do there, what is their culture, what is the culture of the airline that you are applying for, before just doing things unknowingly. Ask people, talk to people. We are here to assist you. You know, it will, instead of you going there, you embarrass yourself, you didn't carry any extra lipsticks, you know, or you're starting to ask around. So just always be ready with something, you know.
Yeah.
Be prepared. And then, ladies, do you want to add anything? I proceed to men.
No, actually, I think you've touched everything on makeup. Oh, wait. While we're still on the face, if you're going to accessorize your face, maybe wear some earrings, please make sure they are studs. Like, yeah, exactly like what Maureen is wearing right now. That right there is what is, you know, if you don't wear the long ones, please don't wear the long ones that are dangling No, yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah. I wanted to add, I think, two pieces. One is the Emirates lipstick color is MAC Ruby Woo, isn't it?
Mac
Yes.
Ruby, yes.
So if a bunch of you, and MAC lipsticks are expensive, but if a bunch of you are all going for this, then you could maybe pitch in together, buy one MAC Ruby Woo, yes, and put it on in the bathroom. Because they want to see, do you look like, if you already look like what you're going to look like, then that puts into their mind,
Yeah.
look. And with shirts, I just wanted to ask, because, I mean, I, for example, I would never wear something like this in the Middle East because it's sleeveless, and you know I don't like that. I might wear this with a really nice pair of trousers to a medium, to an informal company. I would wear this because this is dressing it up a little bit with nice trousers. But I would also be okay with wearing this under a black jacket. Maureen, would you say that a person should not wear
So
a
basically,
blue shirt or a green shirt? Does it have to be white or beige?
yes, it has to be white or light beige and it has to have a collar.
Yeah, it has to be a button-down shirt for sure. But why only white or beige? Why not light pink or light blue or another color that looks good on you?
To be honest, that I'm not sure of, but they always emphasize on this particular.
They
color,
always
white.
mention white shirt. Yeah.
It's I think if you see, it sort of gives the glow. That's what I think. You know, white makes you
Lighten up.
lighter, brighter. But when you wear a dark color, it makes you gloomy.
Thinking light pink. I wasn't thinking like maroon.
Or blue. Kaya was thinking of blue. She wants to wear blue. I know
Of course I
her.
wear blue.
If you go out, they say blue. Everyone will come with different colors of blue.
Shades
You
of
have
blue,
chocolate,
yeah, it makes
you have
sense, actually.
green, you have sky blue, baby blue. Everyone will come looking like, rainbow.
Okay.
So that's the standard they're putting. I know, Karen, I know.
She's trying to remember. She's probably trying to remember what she wore for her interview.
I know. If you wear
blouse, I wear a blouse and a pair of trousers. But I wasn't going for a customer-facing role. I was going for internal L&D because I was a trainer. So there were different standards. No one cared what I looked like.
right. But when you wear, okay, let's say they say green. We have emerald green, or a different kind of green.
We have yellow green.
Imagine neon green.
Okay, no neon, subtle green, pastel, good pastels. I say you can wear pastels. Pastel blue, pastel pink, pastel yellow.
How many colorblind are around the world? You'll be shocked.
Baby colors. The colors you would paint a baby's room. Go with those colors?
Unless you're applying for a job in Mamas and Papas.
Fight individuality.
Mamas and Papas.
I told you, I hired someone the other day with green hair. Got what's in the head. But they don't care what's in your head, they care what you look like. Okay, sorry, continue.
Now, let's move on to men. Okay, for men is very simple. Black or gray or navy blue suit will do. But if you're going to wear something striped, the stripes should be super, super, super thin. They're not visible. If you've seen Emirates uniform for men, the stripes are not visible until you come close. Then you see the stripes. So you have to wear something either black, gray, or a super thin striped suit. You can wear a long sleeve shirt or a short sleeve, and it can be white color or beige or navy blue. Men are allowed. Yes, men are allowed to wear navy blue. I don't know why.
Sure. Black suit.
Not the gray suit.
Light gray suit. Okay, light gray suit.
Is it coming in?
Yes.
Yes.
I would disagree with you on the short sleeve shirt though. For me, a man in a short sleeve button down shirt is casual.
No, but remember they're wearing jackets.
Okay, as long as you don't take your jacket off, then yeah, you're not having your sleeves at all.
Exactly. You said. And one more thing. Okay, the belts, the socks, the shoes should match the suit itself. So you be careful. Guys, just give me 1 minute. Let me put my discharge on the laptop, all right?
Okay. As Maureen takes a short break, I'm going to proceed. Oh, it's that fast?
Okay. That's it. Find me. So now, sorry, I'm a bit dark because everything just went black. Now, okay. The belt and the socks, it doesn't matter which color because anyways you'll be wearing the jacket, so it will not show. But the shoes should really match the color of the suit. If you're going for navy blue suit, it's better you go for black shoes. It's fine. Black shoes will match. If you're going for navy blue, a black suit, black is neutral.
Yeah.
Black goes with most of the things. And if you're going for, let's say gray, beige suit, which I don't recommend you go for interview with a gray suit. This is
beige.
It's a no.
Beige. Beige is terrible. But gray, what type is gray?
No, gray what? Gray suit, it's allowed.
Okay.
Yeah, gray suit is okay. It's perfectly okay. It's allowed. But beige is not. Because I've seen this on Qatar Airways. There was a gentleman who had a beige suit and he was taken out immediately. You're like, sir, that's how I exit. Yeah.
I went with a red suit for Emirates Airlines. I was also disqualified immediately.
Exactly. Yes, I've seen a lot.
I don't know what I was thinking.
No, it's
You're having pizzazz.
Valentine's. Yeah, and then clean shave, short and neat. Beard should be well trimmed, and the only accepted accessory are wedding ring or engagement ring and your watch. Period. Nothing else. No studs, no bling bling on the nose, nothing of this. So no lip gloss on the lips. No chains on your neck. Nothing. So you take out everything because you're gonna be wearing the ties. The tie should be all tight up to your, what do you call it? Adam's apple?
Adam's apple, yeah.
To the Adam's apple. So all tight, looking neat. Now, for the ladies, as for, about the earrings, also the acceptable accessories are earrings, watch, and either a wedding or engagement ring. That's it, not bracelets. All right. Well, last but not least,
Necklace, okay? Can you wear a necklace? No necklaces?
No.
it's not okay. Yes. So last but not least, okay, we were talking about the image, so I'm gonna talk about the body posture. You know, how you sit and how you talk. All these will give you confidence. You know, because some people I've seen this in the interviews. You see a gentleman going there looking sharp and everything, and then they go sit like this. You know, legs up. Like, who do you think you are? This is your office, sir. Sir, come. Like, you need to compose yourself depending on that job you're looking for. Because the job you're looking for them is all about the image. They don't want somebody walking around and say, who is this guy? Who is he doing in the headquarters? You know, you take him out. Because a lot of people have been taken out before, so you'll not be the first or the last, you know. So when you go there, sit properly, sit upright, talk properly, compose yourself, have respect for others as much as you want others to respect you. And guys, to the candidates, getting to an airline, it takes an awful big investment. Trust me, I don't know how many lipstick I've bought and how many makeup, foundations, eyeliner I've done. I've done a lot of things to myself. You know, it takes a big investment. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to the company that is choosing you to be the best. Be the best for you and for them. That's just it. I've done mine.
Thank you. All right, guys, I hope you're following. And just before we go to the CV writing, I am going to talk about the people who have interviews that are coming up in the next few days. we have a few of you who've been selected and you wish to know what to expect. Now, I believe your interview is on a video. It's the automated video interview, and I just want to prepare you for that shortly. You are required, or just to brief you, before you open that link or before you click on it, just so you know, once you click on it, the timer starts. So before you click on it, you need to prepare yourself with everything that you need for the interview. If you have your notes, put them with you, because you cannot move away from the computer or whatever phone you're using. You need to sit there, sit still, and answer the questions. Now, when these questions start, do not panic. You need to sit in a position or posture that looks, relax. Relax. Before you click on the link, take a deep breath, let go. Forget about your troubles. And you need to be behind, is it behind? No, in front, not behind a white wall.
Behind it there. It's behind, right?
In front.
You need to be in front of the wall. The wall is behind you. You are in front of the wall.
You need to be in front of the wall. Yes.
Yeah.
You need to be in front of a white wall, or plain wall for that matter. Let me make it, you don't have to paint your house now if it's not white. And once you click on the link, like I said, take time, take 2 seconds to understand the question and then answer it as calmly as possible. Don't rush yourself. I mean, I know the timer is kicking, but don't just, say things that the interviewer will not understand. The questions to expect, we've already covered that, but I'm going to repeat them just so you know. It's not the same questions for every candidate, so you're going to have a different set of questions, but an example of some questions that have been posted in the past are obviously the number one, tell us about yourself, and what background and work experiences set you apart from other candidates, and have you been in a situation in a team as a leader where you made sure everyone was participating, etc., etc. So these are the kind of questions you expect on this video interview. And I guess you don't have time. Do you have time to ask questions? I don't remember if you do. So in case you do have a place where you need to ask a question, prepare yourself with at least 2 questions. I'm not sure, I don't remember my video interview. Prepare yourself with 2 questions, write them down, so that when you have that, because you don't want to get there, click on the link, the video has started, and then you get stranded. So get yourself the 2 questions. You can ask pretty much anything, well, not anything, but something work-related. And I'll give you an example. Like, this example was taught by Kaya a few months back. You can ask about the company's culture in promoting growth. How is it to work for you guys or to work for that particular company? You can ask questions in those lines, 2 questions max, or minimum, maybe that's what I should say, minimum, just to be ready and to be sure.
100% ask questions. I don't know if you can do it in the video bit, but definitely in the in-person, ask questions. You can ask things, those are good, that's a good one, or what would success look like in this role, or remember also everyone's favorite topic is themselves, and you want your interviewer to like you. So you could say, what do you like about your job? Or what do you like about working here? What are some benchmarks? Tell me about the learning and development opportunities, because I want to grow and develop myself, and is that something I could do here? Because remember, you're checking to see if this company is a good fit for you as much as they're checking to see if you're the right fit for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I guess I've covered that part. If you have questions, please leave. We will give you a time to ask your questions at the end. Now you can flip your papers or your books. We're moving on to the CV writing, which is basically what everyone needs to know, because I've seen so many comments and messages. You want to know how to prepare a good CV, what the employer wants to know from you, etc. And we have a person here, just the right person to do it for you. We are going to assist with that as well. But Kaya, please, floor is yours.
Okay, I'm going to keep this fairly broad because different countries are slightly different. Bye, Maureen. You have a question. What do you think?
In sign language. Yeah.
Yes, retriever clapping. Gotcha. So I'm going to keep this fairly broad. But so things with your CV. Number one is it needs to be quick and easy to read. I have a CV that from someone we've hired, because I don't spend as much time on their CV because I don't care that much. I was putting together a summary of this person to present to the senior directors that I'm keeping posted on my program. I spent 5 minutes looking at her CV. I was like, I don't understand what degree she has. Like, it doesn't say. It said her school, and it said some years, but it didn't say, like, what she was studying. And if this had been someone that if this was the first step and I was sticking at it, I was going to throw her CV right away. Like, I don't understand where you went to school. You clearly don't communicate well in writing. No. So it needs to be really clear, and you want to make life incredibly easy for the person. I mean, this is true for all communication, right? Like, you don't want the person who's reading what you've written or hearing what you're saying to struggle, right? We're not doing trick questions. You want to make their life easier. So when you're doing your format, and you're figuring out what size to do, if anything is going to be printed out, in the name of God, do not do anything smaller than 12-point font, if you could possibly help it. Really, because if I'm printing it out and it's 10 font, I can't read that. No.
Let me explain that. What Kaya means is that the font on your CV should be not below 12.5. Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. So please, note that, guys. Sorry, Kaya, for cutting you short. I just thought that I explained that before I forget.
And the structure should be top to bottom, right? You don't want stuff side to side as much. You want clear delineations between this is my education, this is my background, this is my languages, this is my experience. You want it to be clean and easy. Again, you do not want them to struggle. Your contact information and your name should be at the top. Make sure you put your email address and your phone number. Make sure you spell them right. I had someone that was interviewed who did a good job, and she was internal, and then she left the organization, leaving her CV with me. She had no phone number on there, and her email got a bounce back, and I needed to talk to her, potentially to offer her something, and I couldn't get in touch with her. And I'm not going to chase, like, there's another candidate out there.
Right.
So make sure it's really, really easy to get in touch with you. Again, chronological order. Your CV should not be more than 2 pages. I have 20 years of experience, and my CV is 2 pages.
Wow.
Only the last 12 are on it, because only the last 12 are particularly relevant. The stuff I was doing before is not relevant to what I'm applying to now. If, for some reason, so like 23 years ago, God, I feel old now, I was a bartender, and if I were going for a bartending role, then maybe I would put that on from 23 years ago. I mean, I would, probably. But for now, I'm going for corporate stuff. No one cares that I was a bartender 23 years ago. So have the relevant stuff, have the last decade on there. And your bullet points need to be short and clear and focus on the impact, right? So it's not just, let me see if I can make this work. Okay, my expertise, but it's super clear, right? This part's about experience. This part is my specific skill set. But also, this is the one I did the best, which unfortunately was 10 years ago, but this one really focuses on the impact of my work, right? Improved efficiency and reporting speed by 40% by centralizing and streamlining reporting system. That is impressive, right? I've got a number. If you can get a number in there, get a number in there. And what this was we had kind of like a chaotic system for final reports, because we did a report at the end of every month because it was module programs. And so I helped build this is an Excel document to which auto-populated. That was what that meant, but it made everything faster and easier. Successfully improved retention by 35% by developing and implementing a mentor program. The place I worked is incredibly stressful, and people used to drop out a lot. And then I implemented a mentor program, and that meant people had a buddy now to help them figure it out and learn their way through, et cetera, and that helped. So put numbers, right? How many hours did I teach? I taught for 2,500 hours. And make sure your first word is a power word, right? I directed, I improved, I coordinated, I partnered, I managed, I was responsible for. Put strong words on there. Languages are good if you've got some useful ones. Mine are not particularly useful right now, and I still don't learn German. I haven't learned German, which is terrible to learn Germany. Again, this is stuff you put on if you want to. I wouldn't do hobbies. Some people do. It's personal choice. But again, the goal is very clear, right? My title's top. My important thing that I want you to know about me, tops. My bullet points are concise. No bullet point is more than 2. Most of them are 1. Yeah. Put numbers. This is very weak right now because I just threw this together for something, but this is what I'm doing right now. Really what this should say right here is quadrupled finance program. Because I did. So numbers are good. Put the stress where you need to, but again, I'm just going to say this again. Keep it short and clear. Don't do a list of everything you did in your job. No one cares. I mean, for example, a huge part of my job, which is the least favorite part of my job, is I help coordinate with the vendors who sort out visas and stuff. That takes up a big chunk of my time. But I'm not putting that on here because who cares? What matters is I have developed an entirely new program across Europe. I'm not going to give you the bits and pieces that was made out of that. You want to know that at the end of the day, I can develop a program for you.
Right.
And when you're thinking about every single CV should be tailored for the job you're applying for.
Okay, yeah.
Right? I have never sent the same CV to 2 jobs, ever. You have to change the language. You have to change the wording. And this is particularly true if you're applying to a giant organization, because a lot of them use AI to screen the CVs. And so if it says, I don't know, in the job description, if it says customer service, dealing with clients and patrons, better. In yours, if you put client to patron-facing, customer-oriented, that's not the right word. Use exactly their words, because when it screens through the AI, if you don't use their exact words, you'll fall through. That said, copy it. Yeah.
I think somebody else is asking about, you repeat the part where you talked about numbers, to specify in numbers.
We will give them an opportunity at the end to ask questions, but I'm going to leave the live as well. Rita, you can rewatch the video later. So I'm not going to delete the live for you guys today. I wanted to, just because you're doing CV, I want to also ask something so that I know maybe you'll touch on it. Is it necessary to add hobbies and referees in a CV?
No references, and don't put references available upon request. Skip that. Takes up unnecessary space, and obviously. Hobbies, I don't. I had one person with whom I was interviewing who said, "Oh, it's weird. He hasn't listed any hobbies. Is he not fun?" But I've only known one person who's done that. Mostly, no one cares.
Okay.
You can talk about if your hobby is like volunteering, or if your hobby is your social media presence and you're applying for a social media role, 100%. But if your hobby is going for long walks,
Swimming,
yeah.
That's irrelevant.
unless you're a lifeguard.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I would skip them. But that's me.
Okay.
Because I don't think you're. I mean, if you're sometimes I interview for early career, right? And so people who play sports will put them on as hobbies, and they could be like, I'm captain of my floorball team. That is interesting because you're captain of your team as your hobby. That shows leadership and teamwork and respect and blah 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 blah. So gauge whether or not it's relevant.
Gauge whether or not it's necessary or it goes in line with what you're applying for. Makes sense, yeah?
Exactly. And writing your CV will take you a really, really long time. My CV took hours for me to write, and I constantly fix it and revise it. And every single time I applied for a new job, I changed it some more, and I changed it some more because I would put the words. So this one said customer service, and this one said client facing. The CV I did for this one, I made carefully said customer service. The CV I did for that one, I carefully wrote client facing. But be very careful, and I made this mistake a couple times. Get another eye to look at it, because sometimes you'll have spent so much time looking at this darn document, and you can tell it in your sleep that you make a change and you don't notice that now a word is spelled wrong, or something that's capitalized that shouldn't be, or it's not parallel, right? So you want it to be, if it's a job you used to have, then everything should be in the past tense, not the present tense. Etc. Also, spelling, punctuation, random capital letters, that matters, right? Because particularly if you're going to be doing something that involves any kind of writing, you want to show that you know how to write. So make sure you spell everything right. Make sure it's punctuated properly. Make sure you have the same font throughout the whole thing. Make sure your bullet points are the same throughout the whole thing. Make sure your spacing is the same throughout the whole thing. Make sure you've only capitalized the words that need to be capitalized. It needs to be pretty and clear. Yeah, right?
And the part where the intro of a CV, I remember when you first looked at my CV, you went like, ooh. And I changed it since that time. I did change it, and I took off like my CV was 5 pages, unnecessary pages, and I made sure that my CV was 2 pages for this current role that I have now, and I changed everything around, and it got me where I am, So
Nice.
Tell us about that intro part. What do you need to put there?
I can share with you my intro part again if it's helpful. It might not be because again I have a different kind of role and background. But so here, these tend to be this might be a good place you can add in some of the words from the job description if you can't find a way to fit them into the rest of it. So some of the really key things that you need to be able to do in my field is stakeholder management, very, very key. External partnerships, also very, very key. Future focused is what they care about. Proven track record means like I can show you that I've done it. I've got data driven in here because there's a lot of focus on data. So this last line is a little bit fluffy, but it's showing I'll take care of your people, innovative, nurturing leader, blah, blah, blah. So global exposure and culturally aware. I was applying for a job. I mean, this particular one, I guess, if I'm applying for my job now, I have 3 continents. So a ton of countries, all with very different rules. So you want to hit the important things here. Think about what are they looking for?
Right.
Think about not what do I want to say to them, but what do they need to hear from me? And that's true with all of it, with any presentation you give, with any fight you have with your boyfriend, with anything. You need to think about not just this is what I want to say, but what do they need to hear and how do I give them that message successfully? So the message I'm giving you, or trying to give you, I hope I'm giving you, with this paragraph is I can manage people up, I can manage people down, I can build the stuff you need built that will achieve what you need it to achieve. And I will do it in a way that everyone enjoys working with me. That is what I hope.
Okay.
These two things say.
Thank you.
So think about what do they need to hear.
Right.
And make it true, right? Like, I don't have anything on here about being good at Excel because I am not good at Excel. So don't, oh God, that's a key point. Don't ever lie. Don't ever lie. Because if you get caught in the lie, you're immediately out.
Okay.
Yeah. But because I've seen a lot of people doing the CVs and then putting a picture on the side, on the right side. Is that really necessary? Because this needs to be addressed. At least our candidates to be aware.
So that depends on the country. In the US, you would never put a picture. Never.
Those are so many nevers.
Oh, ever.
Never. In the UAE, you always put a picture. But do you want to take this about image, Maureen, with the picture, or do you want me to take it?
Take it. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for your picture, make sure it's appropriate, right? So this is not a picture you would put on your Tinder profile. Make sure you're putting a picture in which you come across as, so it's a tricky dance, particularly for women, because we have to be professional and friendly, but not too friendly. So again, I don't know if this is the best thing ever, but I will give you, I'll show you my LinkedIn picture. If I were to put a picture on a CV, I would probably do this one. So this is my picture on LinkedIn. I'm no longer him. I'm approachable, I'm friendly, I'm wearing a silk blouse, but I also look pretty conservative, right? Like, I don't have any crazy earrings, I'm not wearing a hat, my face is very clear, it's only my face. I hope, like someone you would want to work with, but I also look, I hope, like someone who knows what she's doing.
I'm not sure what I put on my LinkedIn, but this looks so good, professional, and you are smiling. That's good as well. I like it.
Yeah. And again, it can be tricky to getting the right. It took me quite a few tries for this one, and I don't wear a lot of makeup because I've never figured out makeup. A little bit more might not hurt, not a lot though, because again, you're not saying I'm hot or like going dancing. This is a purely professional image. So you want to leave, you don't want one of these. Because no one wants to work with.
Right.
Right? But you also don't want one of these. Right? Like
That look like, hey baby.
Exactly. You want something that's clean, that's professional, that's not distracting, right? You don't want 700 things going on in the background. You want someone to look at this and be like, you want it to be kind of forgettable, quite frankly, your picture. Like, she looks pleasant, great. Like, the ones I remember are never the good ones.
I told you earlier today that I once put a picture on my CV holding a glass of wine in a red dress, and that was pretty sad. I lost the job before I even interviewed.
Yes, you
If you can do that.
No, I'm not joking right now. I did it. So, yeah.
Not advice. Think about it. It's this. What is the image of this company? What is the image of the kinds of companies I'm looking for? Like when I was and who am I? I mean, I was telling you guys I had a picture on there before that I thought was good. And I had other friends who looked, because I was going through very corporate roles, and I had friends who looked at it and were like, hey, you look as if you're in your late 40s with 3 children and you're going for Congress. Like, that is not who you are, and that's not who I am. I mean, not buttoned up, and so I needed to find something that was more approachable, that was warmer, because my personality is part of what makes me good at what I do. And so that needs to come through in my picture.
Great. Okay. I think you have the questions I sent you earlier about the CV.
Yep, and we've been answering them actually. So putting things that put you off, as I had said, is spelling, punctuation, bad picture, random caps locks. Really, pay attention to what gets capitalized. Confusing formatting, weird colors, too small. Don't do that. Pale colors, no pale colors. I don't want to have to work for it. Make it. Your recruiter is going to spend 30 to 60 seconds looking at it. The hiring manager is going to spend maybe 2 minutes. So what jumps out? They'll spend 30 seconds looking at it, and if it's not good, they chuck it. If it is good, then they'll spend a little bit more time. So how do you snatch the eye? Don't snatch eyes. You know what I mean?
How do you catch their attention?
There you go. Yeah. And it's through I think being very clear, very easy to read, and also very relevant to the role, right? Like if I were now applying for a role involving plants, I say, looking at the plants on my balcony where I'm sitting, I wouldn't talk about the fact that, I've managed a $3 million budget. I would talk about the fact that I have had positions in which I nurtured plants. I don't know that kind of felt part, but focus on the relevant parts. Yeah? My plant's doing much better, by the way. Who cares? So that's sort of the overall for the CV. So yes, in answer to your question, Maureen, sorry, 100% yes to putting a picture in UAE. Make sure it's an appropriate picture. Remember, also this is a Muslim country, so if you're a woman, shoulders and cleavage covered. Cover letter is also, it can be key, it depends. Again, keep it short. All of the things be short and punchy, concise and clear. No one cares about you yet, so they're not going to invest the time. 3 paragraphs or less. 1 page or less than 1 page, half a page. It's not a continuation of your CV. It's not a list, and your CV shouldn't be a list either. It's if your CV is a skeleton, your cover letter puts some meat on your background. Yeah, I think that's all I got.
That's all. Okay.
Yeah.
So I will ask you something. When I don't know if you touched it, maybe I missed it, but as what do the recruiters look at when they're looking at a CV? What are the main things that they look at, like your skills and someone was asking,
relevance.
I think
The main thing they look for is relevance.
Relevance, okay.
Have you done a job like this? Have you had a title like this? Do you have, even if you haven't had a title like this, has your work been related to this?
Okay.
That's the key thing. That and clarity. Can I read this easily?
Okay.
We had 2 other questions from before.
Michelle, yeah.
Someone asked how did a Kenyan CV for international employers if you're early in your career? If you're early in career, nobody's going to pay for you to go anywhere. I passionately wanted to work in South Africa when I had just graduated from university. And I applied, and nobody was going to, I couldn't get a job in South Africa to save my life when I had just graduated because it's expensive to fly somebody over and set them up in a new country. And no one is going to do that unless you've got at least 5 years of experience and you can really contribute.
There was also another question that if CVs differ from country to country,
Yes, they do. The fundamentals are the same. Keep it clear, keep it concise, make it easy to read, don't have your font too small, have it in chronological order. That part is the same everywhere. But different countries, some countries have you list your nationality. In the US, you would never list your nationality. Some have pictures. Some countries don't have pictures. But that's a very easy Google search.
Yeah, Google search, yeah. Everybody, this is the time for you to ask your questions as we sum up everything. And in the meantime, Maureen, I would like you to address the cover issue, just like cover letter. Just please touch on that briefly.
The cover, like, okay, the cover letter, I wasn't prepared for that. Okay.
You were prepared during the day. You answered. Just say what you told us during the day. That's enough.
Oh, did I say, girl, I have been, okay, anyway. So now, what did I say during the day?
Okay, I'll help you out. You said a cover letter is how you sell yourself.
Okay.
That is what you said. You explained, yeah.
I got it. Sorry. Oof. Like I have a mind of a goldfish now. Anyway. So the cover letter is this is a summary of what you've done of yourself. You know, it's what do you say? It's a summary of who you are career-wise, and it's into details. So when I read your cover letter, I would know everything about you, and I would know if I'm going to give you this job or if I'm going to employ you or not, just because of the summary.
Yeah.
And the CV is just a breakdown of everything. So for me, that's just it.
Okay. Someone's asking, can someone have more than one CV? The answer is yes. You can have
100%. I have like
so many. I think I have like 4 of them. Depending on the role you're applying for, always tailor your CV to fit the role you're applying for. Yes, you can have more than one. We are taking your questions now, guys. Please keep them coming so that we can wind up for the day. It has been a...
There was one question from earlier. It says someone less than 1 year of experience eligible to apply in global companies. Absolutely. That's literally my job, is hiring people with 1 year of experience or less. Look for internships. Look for early career, because if you go on LinkedIn and you go into the search thing for LinkedIn and you search for early career, you'll either get jobs like mine, which is running early career programs, or you'll find actual early career jobs, and that is designed for people who have 1 to 4 years of experience or no experience. So internships, early career roles, early talent, you can also search for, and you can do that on if there's a specific global company in if you're in Kenya and there's a specific organization you want to work for, go on their website and see and I'm sure they will probably have an early career offering of some kind, and see what it is, and you can apply to that, because it's literally meant for people with 1 year of experience or less.
Okay. So guys, please send in your questions. Anything that you didn't understand that you want us to clarify. You have the next...
I can answer the numbers question now if we're waiting for more questions.
Say that again?
Maureen flagged the question about numbers earlier. I can answer that now if we're waiting for more
Yes,
questions.
please, go ahead.
Good. Yeah, so numbers, the thing of numbers on your CV is, if I said to you, I spend my day taking care of children. Okay. If I said to you, I spend my day taking care of 2 children, you have ideas about me. If I said I spend my day taking care of 18 children, or they don't. I don't do children. I don't have any. I don't want any. I don't take care of them. But you get the idea, right? Like that changes your idea of me and of what I can offer you. So if you were a check-in agent at Emirates before, for example, Esther, you might say, I checked in X number of people per day or per hour. X number of my interactions yielded a compliment. Only 2% of my interactions ended in a complaint. I don't know how the metrics are, but that tells you how good I am.
Right.
And give it a think. It's how, because I bet you have contributed in some way. Maybe you. So, for example, my organization used to put people up in a very expensive place, and I am now working on changing that. so that we're just going to rent a house for the year and different people will live in that, rotating through, as opposed to renting a wildly expensive hotel room. And so I can put, if let's say I set this up now, and let's say I've got 5 countries, in 3 years I can say I've saved this company, $50,000. So think about what was my contribution? How did my being there make a difference? How much can I handle? What's my capacity? So if you're a waiter, if I told you I served 5 customers an hour, you're not impressed with me. If I told you I served 50 customers in an hour, I'm quick, I'm efficient, I solve problems on my feet, I can do things on the fly, I'm organized. There's a lot of messaging behind that. So anytime you can put a number in, put a number in. How many people were on your team? How many times were you promoted? How fast were you? How much money did you save? How much money did you make? Did you find a way to do something better? Did you find a way to make something more efficient? Turn that into a number. So if you, I don't know, I can't think of anything right now. You found a faster way to work. You could say that you increased arrival times by 3% because you've now shaved 3 minutes off of your 13-minute walk. Whatever, make that up. But think of how you can monetize or quantify. That's the word I want. Think of how you can quantify the value that you have brought, the changes you have made.
Great. Okay, so I don't see any more questions. I guess you guys are satisfied with the workshop and with our answers and contributions. So if you don't have any more questions, we are going to log you guys off in the next 5 minutes, and then we will see you again soon. I would like to say this to the people who have their interviews. I hope that this was helpful and wish you all the best in your interviews. Kindly watch the video, rewatch the video, and ask questions. I will also be able to answer your questions later on the threads. So yeah, there's a question. I'm a teacher. Maybe I want to attend an interview that is not teaching related. How would I put my CV to come out relevant, being that I have been in teaching only?
This is a common problem. I hug you. I hug you. I had this problem as well, and there are multiple groups on Facebook for teachers who want out of teaching and are trying to figure out how to do it, because the skills you have are incredibly valuable, and people who have never taught have their idea how skilled you are, and that can be a very difficult jump. I did that. And it was frustrating. It took me 4 years to get into a different kind of role. But so you've got, if there are options you can take. So what I segued into was corporate training, because it's exactly the same skill set. It's just people don't usually get in fights. So look for corporate training type roles. And in the meantime, if you're teaching in a school, for example, see if you can run in-services, right, where you teach the other teachers something. See if you can get involved in the administration at all, like literally in any way. See if you can get involved in the management part in literally any way. And go talk to your center director or your head teacher or your whatever and be like, hey, how can I want to grow my career, what else can I do? Because that's the kinds of stuff people are going to look for, is what other skills do you bring to the table? And look at learning and development roles, if you want to keep the teaching but you want to like make some actual money and get some respect. Look at the job descriptions of learning and development roles, of training roles, and change and tweak your CV to look like that. And it might take you a year or two to get out. And you can also do stuff, volunteer somewhere that will give you those skills that you're looking for. And then you can absolutely put that on your CV. It's getting out of teaching is hard, but can be done.
Yeah.
And I hug you.
Yeah, Kaya sends her hugs. She's a hugger. I love that about her. So, everybody, is there anything you'd like to tell Maureen and Kaya in the meantime? We're hoping that you've learned something from this workshop tonight. And personally, I think I will definitely send virtual hugs to both of you because you have really helped me out on this one. And I hope that we can work together in future. And, it feels satisfying to be able to give back to the community in this way. For me, that's how I feel. And I know both of you personally, and I know you're givers. So being in this together is actually wonderful, amazing. And I'm so, I don't even know how to say, I'm so thankful for taking your time to do this with me.
Wait, there's a question in here that we missed from someone who says, when asking about salary expectations, you quote your answer in dollars or dirhams. Give the quote in whatever country you're in. So when I did mine here in Germany, I told them what I wanted in euro.
Oh, okay. Oh, I missed that. I see when asked to quote salary. Okay, so let me just say, according to me, like what I did personally. When I went for my current job, like the job I have right now, when I went for the interview, I was, I Googled to see the range, because you don't want to quote too little, and you don't want to look like you're too expecting too much. You just want to be around that range. So I had Googled and I knew what the expectation or the expected salary was, and I just mentioned around that. It's easy. These things, these days, what you do, salary for teachers in UAE, salary for, so you know where the range is, and then you can take it a little bit higher just to play your cards. Don't take it low at any point. Please don't. Never ever.
But the thing is, you have to cut the market.
What do you think, Kai, about the salary?
I hate that question. I hate that question. Some organizations are really transparent. I was one, they were asking me what I wanted, and I said, well, what are you offering? And I really liked that recruiter. That recruiter was really good. And he gave me a number, and I said, yeah, that's less than I'm looking for. How much flexibility is there in that? And he said we could maybe go up to a different number that was 20% more. And I was like, okay, I could work with that. I'm okay with that. And that was the best ever conversation I had around that. So you can give a range, if you're not actually sure what because it's a freaking difficult question. And you could say, I'm looking for something between X number and Y number, but obviously it depends on the other benefits that come with the role.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. And that leaves it, and you can make it a pretty big, you can make it like, if you're doing dirham, you could make it like a 10,000 dirham range that you're willing to accept. And then when you get it, if and when you get the role offered, then you can negotiate. I at one point told a recruiter my minimum, and then I was offered the job, and they offered me the minimum, and I said, no, that's the minimum I'd be happy with. Like, I would actually like more than that. And we obviously I phrased it slightly differently, but we negotiated, and I got 10% more. Some organizations, you come in and you say I can't. They say this is the salary. You say I would like more than that, and they go, but this is the salary. Go right then. One organization offered me an amount. I did not accept that amount, and we negotiated, and they gave me 45% more.
Wow.
But that was after I'd already been offered the role.
Yes.
So in the beginning, you can give a big old range and say, but of course it depends on the other benefits.
I did that also recently with my salary. I got a raise because I wasn't comfortable with the initial, like when I had to join first and then work for 1 month, and I was like, do you think we can work around raising this figure a little bit? And they did give me some more money, so
Exactly.
Yeah.
But so you give the range in the beginning, and then when they offer you the role, then you can negotiate.
Right. Maureen, you have anything to add on this?
Yes, because I think before going to that interview, you need to do a research on how much they're paying, and then the market research, because there is also that market research. So candidates should go to they call it glossary salaries, and just try to play with the figures. Or if you can't, basically if you ask around the teachers, let's say if the teacher is getting 10,000 dirhams, so you just play around. I need 15,000 dirhams. So if you fall back, it will be.
You will not fall to 7,000.
Exactly. Okay, I'm saying hypothetically. I'm not saying that's what they're getting.
Yeah, no, I'd be careful with that, because so I hire and I offer X amount, and if someone says to one of my talent acquisition people that they want more than that, the talent acquisition person doesn't even put them through to me, because they're not going to be happy with what I offer. So I would, if you know that teachers get 10, for example, then say, or you're pretty sure teachers get 10. Then you say, I'd be happy between, 10 and 15,000.
Yeah, that okay. Just playing around with the words.
15.
Right.
This is at the beginning, right? This is your first, you don't want to get knocked out in the first row because you're too expensive. But you also want to make sure that you're not underselling yourself. And then once they've offered you the role, then the ball is in your court, because they want you now. So they're going to, if they can have some leeway, they will have some leeway.
Okay. All right. So I think if you have anything to wind up, Maureen, Kaya, then you can do that so that we say goodbye to them and we can wind up together alone privately.
Dead, so I can't do anything.
Do you have anything to say?
All the best to the candidates. I wish you all the best. You're going to do great if you follow what you told you. It's very simple. Yeah, just practice, practice, practice.
Right.
100%. And it gets easier and it gets better. And if you mess up in this one,
There's
it's fine. There'll be
one.
another one.
Right.
There will be another one.
More. It's okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All
But
right.
Maureen was spot on. Practice, 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 practice. Have your answers ready to go.
Correct.
Talk in the mirror. Look at the mirror and keep talking.
Okay. All right. Okay, just give me 1 second, guys. I'll say goodbye to them. Yeah. So, guys, thank you so much for watching us tonight. Thank you for listening and being part of this workshop. We are so happy to have you on with us. Thank you for... Kaya is making funny faces. Yeah, so guys, I will leave the live video on for you to go through later. Those of you who didn't, if you have friends who didn't make it, you can tag them later to this video. And have a good night. All the best to the candidates, all the best to the people looking for work. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot at kwa inbox yangu, you can do that. And have a good night. Adios, until next time, it's kwaheri.